They say that a man who lives in the future eventually loses his place in the present. On a cold January night in 1943, a maid at the Hotel New Yorker ignored a "Do Not Disturb" sign that had been hanging for 2 days. When she pushed open the door to room 3327, she didn't just find a body. She found the remnants of a mind that had been at work for 86 years. Nikola Tesla died alone, penniless, surrounded by stacks of papers and birdseed. But why? How does the man who gave us alternating current, the man who held the lightning in his palms, end up whispering to pigeons in a dusty hotel room? History tells you he was a mad scientist, but psychology offers a deeper lens. It's the story of a mind so brilliant it became its own prison, a mind that chose isolation, not because it hated people, but because it was too sensitive to navigate them. Tonight we aren't looking at the inventions, we are looking at the breaking point. This is the dark psychology of isolation, and why the world's greatest visionary withdrew from the world. By the time this story ends, you won't just see Tesla differently. You might start looking at your own silence differently, too. To understand Tesla's isolation, we have to look at the theater of the mind. Most of us think in words or fuzzy images. Tesla thought in high-definition 4K. He didn't need a laboratory to test his motors. He would build them in his mind, turn them on, and let them run for weeks. If a screw came loose in his imagination, he could predict how it would behave in reality. Living entirely inside your own head comes at a cost. When the internal world is precise and orderly, the external world can feel unpredictable, even hostile. Some psychologists describe this pattern as hypersensitivity, a heightened awareness of stimuli that can make ordinary sensations overwhelming. Tesla claimed he could hear a clock ticking 3 rooms away. The sound of a carriage passing could feel like a thunderclap inside his skull. To him, people were unpredictable, even threatening. He avoided shaking hands. He obsessed over the number 3. He required 18 napkins to clean his dinnerware. These weren't quirks. They were coping mechanisms. He was building a psychological fortress to preserve his equilibrium. He didn't pull away because he was arrogant. He pulled away because he was overwhelmed. Some psychologists describe the pattern Tesla experienced as a form of learned helplessness, repeated failures to have your ideas acknowledged, or worse, seeing them used against the public good can teach the brain to disengage. The war of currents with Thomas Edison wasn't just a business rivalry. Edison fought Tesla in the public eye, creating spectacles that framed Tesla as a danger. Tesla saw a world that did not value his vision. Then came Wardenclyffe. He poured his soul into a tower meant to provide free, wireless power to the planet. But when funding was cut because the project couldn't be monetized, Tesla didn't just lose money, he lost a sense of purpose. He retreated to hotels, moving from room to room. As bills and debts accumulated, he became a quiet, almost invisible presence in New York. As decades passed, Tesla's isolation deepened. Human interaction had failed him. Society dismissed, mocked, and ignored him. In psychology, there is a concept called transference. When we cannot find connection with our own kind, our minds seek it elsewhere. Tesla found it in the pigeons of Bryant Park. He spent nights walking the streets, whispering to the birds, nursing the sick ones back to health. And then there was the white pigeon. Tesla wrote, "I love that pigeon. As a man loves a woman." He claimed that one night she flew into his room, signaling that she was dying. In her eyes, he saw a light brighter than anything he had ever produced in a lab. In that moment, the man who gave the world electricity felt the weight of his own isolation. When the Office of Alien Property entered room 3327, they were examining Tesla's notes and blueprints for Teleforce, a particle beam concept he had described as a potential defensive system. Officials took his papers seriously, enough to examine them carefully. An MIT scientist was called in to review them. His assessment, speculative and theoretical material, but nothing immediately actionable as a weapon. Most documents were eventually returned to Tesla's family. Some were copied, some remain archived. The historical record is complicated, not a story of fear or suppression, but of unfinished ideas and a mind ahead of its time. Today, we live in a world built on his AC systems. We communicate wirelessly because of his vision. Yet Tesla's story reminds us even the brightest mind can feel invisible when society cannot meet its depth. Was Tesla crazy, or was he simply too far ahead of the era he lived in? This is OddPast. If you've ever felt born in the wrong era, or more at home and quiet than in crowds, you are walking in the footsteps of the man from room 3327. Subscribe and stay with us, because next time we explore a country built on secrets so dark they reshaped history. Until then, keep your eyes on the shadows.